morning, good evening, good day, good night, good life.
Yes.
Babes, we are so glad to have you here with us today. And babes, if you haven't already, do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Welcome to the Snark side.
Where your caffeine is aggressive, your group chats are absolutely on fire, and gossip is literally your full-time personality.
Period. Okay, so first things first. The Snark squad needs to know that the raspberry lemonade is officially on deck today.
Oh, heavily on deck.
Yes, it is rum spiked. Yes, we ran it through the Ninja Slush. And no, Ninja still has not sponsored us, which is frankly a personal attack at this point.
That's honestly offensive. I am treating this frozen cocktail like a literal engineering project. The ice to rum ratio is a science, okay? But the fact that we constantly promote them and they ignore us.
I am emotionally dependent on this slush machine. Like, my entire mood dictates on whether or not this thing turns on in the morning.
Because every single drink tastes better slushed. It's a fact. Water. Slush it. Coffee. Slush it. Rum. Slush it twice.
Exactly. The Ninja Slush has become a core part of our personalities, and I am feeling personally victimized by their marketing team. Like, babes, look at us. We are the demographic.
They're leaving money on the table. But whatever, we're drinking it anyway. We have a massive show today.
We really do. But before we get into the heavy stuff, we have received so many comments lately, and babes, we needed to share the mess with everyone.
Oh, the inbox is overflowing.
It's overflowing. So it is time for a segment we love. We are playing Shady, Snarky, or Stupid. I have 3 listener-submitted confessions, and we need to judge them immediately.
Bring it. I am so ready to analyze these motives and just, call everybody out.
Okay, confession number 1. This listener says, my best friend is getting married, and she just sent the bridesmaids a Venmo request for her own bachelorette party flights. She said, since we get to go on a trip, we should subsidize her travel as a thank you.
Wait. Subsidize?
Subsidize.
Oh, that is strictly stupid. That is so stupid. It's actually delusional.
I am emotionally reactive first, and I just gasped out loud reading that. Like, a Venmo request for a flight, absolutely not. Decline.
Decline and block. Look, I get paying for the bride's drinks or dinner, right? That's standard. But the airfare, you are asking your friends to be an airline sponsor? That is shady and stupid.
It's so shady. Okay, confession number 2. I'm currently dating a guy, and things are great, but I just found out his ex-girlfriend still comes over every Sunday to do his laundry because, quote, she likes his building's machines better.
Oh my God. Stop.
I am literally screaming.
She likes the machines. She likes the machines.
Right.
No, look, analytically speaking, this guy is playing you.
Yeah.
The ex is marking her territory, and he is just getting free housekeeping out of it. That is incredibly shady on his part, and frankly, the listener is being a little stupid for tolerating it.
Like, throw the whole man away. If another woman is folding his underwear, that is her man, babes. Let him go.
Exactly. Find someone who goes to the laundromat like an adult.
Okay, third confession. My coworker keeps stealing my labeled lunches from the fridge, but they always leave a crisp $1 bill taped to my Tupperware container.
A single dollar.
A single dollar bill
Yeah.
for a whole lunch.
See, that is pure snark. That coworker is a villain, but they are a funny villain.
Right. It's like, I'm furious, but also the audacity is almost impressive.
It's a transaction. They're like, I am purchasing this turkey sandwich for $1. Forcefully, I would set a trap. I would make the spiciest lunch legally allowed.
Oh, heavily sabotage it. Totally. Speaking of audacity, we literally forgot to mention what we are wearing today.
Oh, we have to talk about the outfits.
Babes, we are wearing matching faux Louis blazers. And honestly, we look like money.
We look so expensive right now.
We do. And I am fully committed to the fantasy. I don't even care that they are super fake.
Look, I pretend to judge fake designer culture, right? I sit there and I analyze the stitching.
Yeah.
But secretly, I love it. The economics of the super fake are fascinating.
It's all about the confidence. If you walk into a room and you own it, people just assume you have the bank account to match. Dressing rich versus actually being rich is just an energy. It's a delusional luxury energy, and I am thriving in it.
But we do need to debate this. Which fake luxury items are actually acceptable and which ones immediately expose you?
Ooh. Okay, I feel like a fake blazer is fine because nobody is getting that close to your lapel. But a fake shoe...
Yeah, a fake sneaker is risky. People look at shoes. Sneakerheads will call you out in the grocery store line.
Exactly. Or like a really bad hardware on a fake bag. The shiny, plasticky gold. Immediate exposure.
So true. It makes me wonder, though, could either of us survive in actual billionaire circles? Like, if we were dropped into a yacht party in Monaco, would they know we're frauds?
Oh, they would know instantly. I would get too excited about the free shrimp.
I would be asking if I could take the centerpieces home.
100%. Which actually perfectly segues into this Ochochinko money spiral we need to talk about.
Yes. I saw this on TikTok yesterday.
Right. So Chad Ochochinko, former NFL player, made millions and millions of dollars. He was on TikTok talking about how he saved most of his NFL salary. And, babes, listen to how he did it.
It's wild.
He flew Spirit Airlines. He wore Claire's jewelry, like literally fake diamonds from Claire's. He drove an old beat-up car. And he saved something like 83% of his income.
Okay, I'm going to act like a financial podcast host for about 3 minutes here because I love this. Analytically, the man is a genius. He avoided the exact trap that bankrupts so many celebrities.
But was he financially smart? Or was he just cheap as hell? Because flying Spirit when you have an NFL contract is a choice.
It's a brilliant choice. Look at rich people habits. Performative luxury is the #1 reason celebrities go broke. They buy the Lambo, they buy the massive chain, but it's a depreciating asset. He bought fake jewelry, and nobody questioned it because he was in the NFL.
Oh, that is the literal definition of our faux luxury spiral. He had the delusional luxury energy. He had the title. So everyone assumed the Claire's earrings were flawless diamonds.
Exactly. He hacked the system. But let me ask you, if you hit that level of wealth, would you be responsible? What is the first ridiculous thing you would buy?
Okay, I deeply respect his savings, but I want luxury. I would buy an unnecessarily expensive industrial-grade nugget ice maker for every room in my house.
That is so specific and so stupid.
I know, but I need it. I'm emotionally attached to slush drinks. We've established this. What would you buy?
Probably a compound. Just a massive wall around a house where I don't have to perceive anyone.
Very that. Well, speaking of people we constantly perceive, it is time. Babes, get your slushes ready. It's time for the Daily Celebrities Bill.
Oh, let's go.
We have so much ground to cover. We are avid fans. We are dying to tell you what happened in the last 24 hours in celebrity and reality TV land. And as always, a quick disclaimer for the Snark Squad.
Yeah.
Anything we mention regarding the royals is alleged because apparently they are very Sue-happy right now.
Highly litigious. We love the word alleged.
Yes, we do. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the absolute architecture of an image. Jennifer Lopez. There's this viral video going around of J.Lo at the Four Seasons Hotel in New York City. She is just standing inside the glass doors of the lobby. She isn't leaving. She is literally lingering, holding her pose, waiting for the sidewalk to clear out.
And people were tearing her apart online for this.
Tearing her apart, calling it cringe, saying she's so calculated. But then her former publicist, Rob Shooter, chimed in and spilled the reality of this. He says she treats fame like a rigid corporate business.
Which is the only way to survive at that level. Analytically, what she's doing there is manufacturing a vacuum. She knows the paparazzi are outside. If she walks out with random tourists in the background, the photo is worthless.
Right.
By waiting, she ensures a perfectly unobstructed, iconic shot. That photo gets syndicated globally, and she controls her visual narrative for the day.
Shooter even said she will literally have her driver circle the block in her SUV over and over again to avoid arriving on a red carpet at the same time as someone else. She will not share the spotlight.
It's brand protection, and honestly, the public reaction is so hypocritical.
Thank you. I was just going to say that. We demand this content. We buy the magazines. We click the street-style galleries. We want the glamour.
Exactly. But the second we see the sweaty, mechanical labor behind the scenes, the staging of it all, we get offended. It's like being mad at a magician for having a false bottom in the hat. You paid for the illusion. Let her do the trick.
Period. Let the woman circle the block. But, okay, J.Lo is staging for glamour.
Yep.
Meghan Markle is trying to stage for, like, serious global impact, and it is a totally different game.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So Meghan traveled to Geneva, Switzerland, right? She spoke at the unveiling of the Lost Screen Memorial, which is about online harm to children. Very serious topic.
Extremely serious.
And strategically, she left Prince Harry behind.
Which, from a PR perspective, is the smartest move she could make. Harry is a narrative black hole. If he is in the room, the headlines are about royal family drama, not tech safety.
Right. She wanted a solo spotlight. But, babes, the execution had some massive hiccups. First of all, critics were saying her speech sounded algorithmically generated.
Which is the most ironic insult ever.
I know. Headlining an AI and tech safety panel, and you sound like ChatGPT wrote your monologue. Ouch.
When you over-sanitize every word to avoid bad press, you lose all your human authenticity. It sounds robotic.
But then Megyn Kelly got involved, and she absolutely roasted the physical setup of the event. She posted footage showing all these heavy crowd control ropes and security, but the audience area behind them was literally practically empty.
The infrastructure outweighed the demand. They built a staging area for a stadium tour, and a library book club showed up.
It's embarrassing. But the messiest part, the real brand cannibalization here, royal commentator Tom Sykes pointed this out. Right before she steps on this stage to talk about the dangers of digital platforms for kids, what does she do?
I know exactly what you're going to say.
She posts a highly curated photo of herself and Princess Lilibet on Instagram, posing in a designer closet.
You cannot do both. You cannot use your child on social media to push a wealthy, relatable influencer aesthetic and then literally the next day be the global face of a campaign against exposing children to the internet.
It is entirely hypocritical. The internet has a perfect memory. The relatable mom brand is actively eating the serious advocate brand.
It's a total strategic collapse.
It really is. And speaking of conflicting brands, we have to talk about Jakub and Kendall Jenner.
Ooh, the Chalamet effect.
Yes. So Jakub and Kendall have been dating since February. We saw the paparazzi shots of them paddleboarding in Hawaii. Very cute. But then the Cannes Film Festival happens.
The most prestigious cinema event of the year.
Exactly. And Jakub, who's building this serious acting career with Euphoria and Saltburn, skips it. Officially, his team said he had a foot injury.
A foot injury, sure.
Right. But insiders are spilling that his team is terrified. They are panicking that the Kardashian-Jenner reality TV spotlight is going to completely overshadow his prestige actor status.
Because it absolutely will. Industry executives are calling it the Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner effect. Chalamet had an Oscar-nominated performance in Marty Supreme, right?
Incredible movie.
Incredible. But during awards season, nobody was talking about his acting choices. They were hiring lip readers to figure out what he was whispering to Kylie at the Golden Globes.
It's so true. Reality fame is so loud, it swallows prestige fame whole.
Prestige cinema requires mystery. You need to disappear into a role. Reality TV requires total, relentless exposure. They're incompatible. So Jakub's team faking a foot injury to keep him off the Cannes red carpet. Analytically, brilliant brand protection.
They're shielding him from the reality TV radiation.
Exactly.
Okay, but we want to talk about true, ultimate brand protection. We need to spiral about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Let's get into the corporate merger.
Literally a corporate merger. Family law attorney Sarah Luetto did a breakdown of what a hypothetical prenup would look like for a billionaire pop star and an NFL tight end.
And we have to strip all the romance out of this. This is not a pre-divorce document. It is a corporate shield.
Totally. Luetto said it would keep their estates entirely separate. So Taylor's music catalog, the touring, the film rights separate. Travis's NFL salary, his endorsements, his New Heights podcast empire separate.
The real mess is the real estate. They have massive footprints across New York, Tennessee, Kansas, Missouri, Rhode Island.
Yeah, how do you handle that?
It's a jurisdictional nightmare. Every state has different laws. Luetto said Taylor, being the significantly wealthier party, would likely agree to cover all their shared living expenses, but any shared properties would have to be negotiated line by line.
Which makes sense. Like, if she needs private aviation and heavy security, she can't expect him to split that bill. But the craziest part was about the NDAs.
The non-disclosure agreements are the actual foundation of a relationship at that level.
Yes. It's about protecting trade secrets.
Right.
If they break up, the corporate entity has to be sealed against leaks.
Because their wealth is generated so differently, Taylor's wealth is intellectual property. It scales infinitely. Travis's wealth, his primary asset, is his physical body.
And the maintenance of that body is insane. His mom, Donna Kelce, was talking about his training routine before he signed that one-year, $12 million contract with the Chiefs.
She called it brutal.
Brutal. Like, we see him chugging a beer on the podcast, but behind the scenes, he is subjecting his body to literal trauma just to get his joints ready for training camp. If his physical chassis breaks down, his whole endorsement machine breaks down.
He has to protect the machine. And sometimes protecting the machine means going to court.
Which is a perfect transition to Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, the legal Okay, so Jada was just awarded $32,836 in legal fees.
Very specific flex.
Very specific. She squashed this lawsuit from a guy named Bilal Salam. He claimed to be an ex-pal of Will Smith. And he said that after the 2022 Oscar slap, Will's team asked him to do damage control. Right, and when he refused and said he was writing a tell-all memoir, he alleged Jada threatened him.
Right, but Jada got the claims completely dismissed. And she didn't just walk away. She actively went after his pockets for her legal fees.
Because 32 grand is nothing to the Smiths. That is couch money.
Literal rounding error.
It was entirely symbolic. It's a chilling effect. Their brand has been so vulnerable since the Oscars, they had to send a massive warning to anyone else in their orbit.
Exactly. Like, if you try to monetize our vulnerability, we will bankrupt you in court.
Yeah.
She built a spiked fence around her family.
But a legal fence only works if your core business is actually functioning. Which brings us to Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Oh, the juxtaposition here is crazy.
The contrast is staggering. Let's look at Kanye first. Yeezy is currently being sued by a web design firm, Ryan So, LLC, for $150,000 in unpaid fees from back in October 2025.
Remember when Kanye would drop 150 grand on like a wall of flowers for a Tuesday?
Exactly. The fact that a vendor has to sue him in open court for that amount shows the severe internal rot of his corporate structure. After the anti-Semitic remarks and losing the Adidas deal, his cultural capital evaporated. Now he can't even pay a web designer.
The scaffolding is completely rusted. But then you look at Kim Kardashian's brand, SKIMS. Babes, this is like a movie plot.
A literal cartel thriller.
So, a smuggler in the UK, Jakub Jan Konkel, was sentenced to 13.5 years in prison because he tried to smuggle $9.5 million worth of cocaine.
$9.5 million.
Right. And where did he hide it? Inside a modified trailer carrying 28 pallets of completely authentic SKIMS clothing.
Which is just, analytically speaking, a terrifying validation of Kim's supply chain.
Right. SKIMS had to put out a firm statement being like, we have no idea who this driver is.
But think about why a drug cartel chooses SKIMS pallets as camouflage. Corporate ubiquity. They need a supply chain that moves at such massive, reliable volumes that border agents don't even look twice.
They hid in plain sight. Kim's business is so vast and unshakable that international cartels trust it with their lives. It's dark, but it's kind of a massive flex.
It is the darkest flex of all time. Kanye is getting sued for petty cash, and Kim is an unwitting logistical partner for transnational smuggling.
It's wild. Okay, speaking of massive logistics, let's talk about monetizing a franchise. Sydney Sweeney.
The housemaid.
Yes. The Housemaid was made on a $35 million budget, and it grossed $400 million globally.
Insane return on investment.
Insane. So obviously, they greenlit a sequel, but Lionsgate is also developing a live stage adaptation written by Becca Brunstetter.
And this is where I have serious questions about the mechanics.
Same, because if you read the book by Frida McFadden and then you watch the movie, they have completely different endings.
Completely different.
So if you put this on a stage, which ending do you use? Or do you make up a third ending just to mess with everyone again?
How do you translate the claustrophobia of an R-rated thriller to a wooden stage? It's a huge logistical risk, but they literally don't care because the IP is too valuable to sit dormant.
They just have to squeeze every dollar out of it. But if you want to talk about squeezing every dollar out of something, Janice Dickinson is officially living in the year 3000.
Oh my God, the AI supermodel.
Babes, she is launching Supermodel AI.
Yeah.
Users upload videos of their runway walks, and an AI trained on Janice Dickinson's actual personality critiques their posture and their facial expressions.
She literally franchised her own judgment.
She did. She separated her expertise from her physical body. She doesn't have to be in the room. She could be sleeping, and thousands of people are paying her digital ghost to yell at them about their stride.
It is brilliant, and it is profoundly dystopian. She eradicated the physical bottleneck of fame.
It's scary. But you know who treats human beings like interchangeable IP? Netflix.
The reality TV shuffle. Let's get into the Selling Sunset drama.
Okay, so Alex Hall, who is the absolute messy epicenter of Selling the OC, is in negotiations to jump over to the flagship show, Selling Sunset, for season 10.
This is Netflix executing a ruthless corporate purge.
A total purge. They fired Mary Bonnet, Emma Hernan, Chelsea Lascani, and Sandra Vergara.
Cleared the board.
Cleared it. And they brought back the legacy heavyweights, Christine Quinn, Bray Tisi, and Amanda Smith. But moving Alex Hall is wild.
It makes perfect sense if you view them as inventory. Selling Sunset's ratings were dipping. So what does Netflix do? They take their most toxic, high-engagement asset from the spinoff and drop her into the mothership like a tactical nuke.
Yes. And they literally delayed production on Selling the OC entirely just to accommodate this. They paralyzed a whole show to harvest its best organ.
They don't care about the cast's lives. Alex Hall is an engagement metric, period.
Sadly. But sometimes when you scale these franchises too big, the consumer gets screwed. Look at Harry Styles' tour.
The Together residency, 50 shows.
50 shows. And fans who bought super expensive VIP floor tickets showed up, and their view of the stage was completely obstructed by massive stage setups.
They paid thousands of dollars to stare at a steel pillar.
Exactly. And the tour's rep released a statement defending it, calling it an open, free-flowing floor experience.
The PR spin on that is audacity at its finest. Free-flowing experience. No, I want to see the artist I paid to see.
Right, like, oh, you can't see Harry, just wander around aimlessly. It's a feature, not a bug.
When you design a tour for 50 stadium loadouts, the human experience is the first casualty. They optimized for the cameras, not the people on the ground.
So true. But okay, beneath all this corporate machinery, these celebrities still desperately need us to think they're relatable. We call it the relatability play.
It's the lubricant for the whole engine.
Literally. So Hilary Duff was on the Jennifer Hudson show, right? And she was talking about how her teen son, Luca, refuses to give her any cool points, even though his friends love her TikToks.
Flawless PR execution. It bridges the gap. She's a millionaire actress, but she still has a teenager who rolls his eyes at her. Universally relatable.
And Kylie Kels did this perfectly, too. She went viral for her guide to Poe, a highly structured guide for potty training her daughters.
Using a 45-minute timer, watching for the wiggle, offering treats.
Yes. She took one of the most frustrating, humbling parenting experiences, cleaning up a toddler's mess, and made it content.
Yeah.
It subconsciously says, hey, my husband negotiates millions with the NFL, but I'm still setting a timer for pull-ups. I'm just like you.
It's highly effective because it's true. But the cognitive whiplash happens when you realize that for a lot of these people, the relatability is just a thin veneer over serious, isolated trauma. Let's go back to Meghan and Harry.
Ooh, this is heavy.
We talked about Meghan curating her image in Geneva, but the leaks coming out of their camp about their 8th wedding anniversary are dark.
Insiders are calling it their lowest point. They are allegedly dealing with massive financial anxiety because their big multimedia deals haven't compounded the way they needed to.
They are burning through his inheritance to maintain their security infrastructure.
Right, and that financial panic is causing furious arguments about the kid's privacy. Harry is terrified of the media machine that consumed his mother, and Meghan wants to use the family image to sustain the lifestyle brand.
And sources say this all traces back to the extraordinary emotional strain she felt entering the royal family in 2018. That baseline of trauma never went away.
It forces you to look at those PR stunts differently. Is the perfect Geneva outfit just a desperate shield for a marriage that is buckling under terror?
The tighter the grip on the public image, the more chaotic the private reality.
It's so true. But if we really want to look at the destruction caused by the Hollywood machine, we have to talk about Hayden Panettiere.
Her new memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, is one of the most harrowing things I've ever read.
She completely dismantled the child star illusion. Babes, listen to this. When she was 18, a trusted friend named Stella McCamus allegedly lured her onto a yacht.
Under completely false pretenses.
Totally. Stella hyped up the physical attributes of this famous British singer, and then essentially delivered Hayden into a bedroom where this man was waiting, completely naked.
And Hayden's description of her reaction is a textbook trauma response. Because it was a trusted friend, her defense mechanisms short-circuited. She literally disassociated.
She said she climbed into the bed, she was paralyzed by shock, she only snapped out of it and fled when Stella left the room. But looking back, she realized the industry didn't see her as a human. She was currency, a consumable asset for powerful men.
And that psychological grooming compounds over time. So when she faced physical trauma later in life, her foundation was too weak to hold up.
Right. She had a horrific ordeal giving birth to her daughter. Emergency C-section, a severe uterine infection. She needed 7 blood transfusions just to live.
Which triggered agonizing postpartum depression. But the Hollywood machine demands you bounce back and look perfect for the cameras.
So she looked for a chemical off switch. She secretly drank Fireball, hiding it from her ex, Vladimir Klitschko. She drank from morning to night, just to blunt the panic, until she finally spent 8 months in rehab.
It's sickening. The industry enthusiastically broadcasts Kylie Kels's potty training, but willfully ignores the isolating reality of a woman like Hayden who was chewed up as a teenager until they can package her trauma into a comeback story.
They only care when it's monetizable. Which brings us to the final, really grim story today. Kim Scott.
Eminem's ex-wife.
She has such a specific, terrifying type of fame. She became globally famous by being the villain in some of the angriest rap music ever
The
made,
psychological toll of that exposure is unimaginable.
and it spilled out recently in Michigan. She was arrested for DUI after crashing into a parked car. The police said she was staggering, slurring with spiked drinks in the car.
But the breathalyzer numbers are the real crisis.
She blew a .204, a .176, and a .181, more than double the legal limit. And the most tragic part, she had just pleaded no contest to a totally separate DUI days before.
It is a visible, inescapable spiral. When you mix personal demons with the radioactive pressure of glowing notoriety, the human architecture just gives way.
And this is where the whole machine fails. No amount of lobby staging by J-Lo or Taylor Swift prenups or AI clones can protect a person when the internal load-bearing walls collapse.
Analytically, PR is the X-ray they want to show us. It looks clean, the bones are aligned. But stories like Hayden and Kim, that's the MRI. It shows the internal bleeding that the PR was designed to hide.
Exactly. We have torn up the floorboards today. We watched J-Lo manipulate traffic. We saw Meghan's brand cannibalization, the Swift-Kelce corporate firewall, and the dark reality of being commodified by the industry.
But before we wrap, we need to leave the Snark squad with a final thought to mull over.
Yes, let's turn the mirror around.
We've spent this time dissecting celebrities controlling their image. But in the age of algorithmic social media, aren't every single one of us doing a micro version of this every day?
Unquestionably. We curate the feeds, we delete the bad photos, we hide our bad days. We act as our own PR managers.
The celebrity machine isn't alien. It is just a magnified mirror of our own human desire to control how the tribe sees us.
So, babes, the question for you is, how much energy you're spending circling the block, waiting for the perfect moment to step out? Are you exhausted from holding the pose?
Because eventually the muscles fail, and all you're left with is the messy reality of being human.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chaos today, Snark Squad.
Yeah.
We need to know in the comments, was Ocho Cinco smart or cheap? What is your biggest impulse purchase? Is fake designer iconic or tacky? And what is your favorite frozen drink combo?
I need those drink recipes immediately.
Same. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay messy, stay expensive, and we will see you on the Snark side.